you on your bag with this one.
Hey yo, what's good? I'm Nuro, and today I want to show you how to make beats and how to use FL Studio. This will be a beginner's guide from the very beginning, so no bullshit. We'll just get to it. I'm gonna explain all the basics to you. I'm gonna kind of make a video series, so we'll get into more than one of those. We'll go step by step. I'm gonna show you how to arrange beats, how to do that shit, right? So the first time you open FL, it might look a little confusing with all the different stuff that you got here, but it's actually pretty simple. And I want to show you how FL looks like when you first open it. Let's do that. All right, just get a blank slate. So this is FL Studio when you first open it. It just looks like this. You can even hide this browser. And yeah, it looks a little less intimidating than the one that I had because you have no colors. Everything seems simple. You got some of those lights. You got some of these tracks. You got these symbols here. And today we're going to start with some basics. And the most basic thing is the playlist. I want to show you today the playlist. I want to show you the piano roll and the mixer. These are kind of the most important things, as well as the channel rec. Yeah, so let's start with the first one, the playlist. So here the playlist is basically all the elements that you got in your beat. Everything coming together is your composition. You might know like classical music where they have these notes on the paper sheets and all that. This is kind of the playlist, so you kind of can put your notes here. You can take whatever instrument you want and you can let it play whatever you want. So you can put a guitar here, a piano, a synthesizer, a vocal, everything that you want can be in the playlist, and you just build your playlist to match your song. For example, you can have a guitar. Let's say this is a guitar here in that first beat. Then you want to make like drums come in with a guitar. Yeah. And then you want to bring in a third instrument like a bass guitar, something like that, right? And yeah, so much for the playlist. I'll just go jump a little bit from segment to segment so I can actually show you what the playlist does. So this is the channel rec. This is this symbol here. It'll pop up like that. And here is basically everything that you use. Every instrument goes into your channel rec. This is like your shad where you got all your tools and everything. If you load up FL Studio, you'll only have a kick, a clap, a hi-hat, and a snare. This is your basic sound. They sound like this. Very basic stuff, right? A kick drum is like the lowest drum of a drum kit. A clap is the center drum that kind of gives the smack. The hi-hat is the top drum. This is just like, you got to think of the drum kit from low to high end. And the hi-hat is like your high end. And then you have a snare drum, which is kind of like a clap. Kind of the same. So people like to change claps for snares when they make trap beats, for example. And so on. Yeah, but to show you the rack, what the rack actually can, I will load up the first instrument for today. So I can show you how to get something in the rack and in the playlist. I'm going to get me some keys. If you don't know what keys are, like pianos or like Celeste is a key instrument, or like a Rhodes. So there are different key instruments. And we got a stock plugin that is called FL Keys. It's like a piano. So I just loaded up my first instrument, is this piano, right? And now I want to play the piano. So here, when I click this, it will open the piano. Very simple. If I click it again, it will disappear. So it should be better now. Yeah. So this is a piano. It's a stock plugin, so you just gotta load it up. So here you got a browser. By the way, if you want to search for plugins, you can open the browser here. So you view your browser and you can basically type in whatever you want. I just went for FL Keys. You can also find it here in this one. So this plug symbol brings you to your plugin database, and you get some generators here. And on these generators, you have like controllers, drum stuff, drum machines, and all that basic stuff. And here is FL keys. So you can do the same thing as I did by just putting it here. Yeah. So now we can close that browser. You can double click on this bar to close it because we won't need it for now. Let's bring those keys in, right? So I'll just right click the keys and put piano roll. In the beginning, our playlist. So actually start with the playlist. Let's take this a step back. So we got an empty playlist. We got one instrument and we got patterns. So patterns is like the notes that you want to assign to your instruments. And we got this drop down menu here. You can do this, or you can hit that plus to create a new pattern, right? And if you click that pattern in the center and then click in the playlist, you can place that pattern whatever you want, like this. And I want to have the pattern play in the start, so I just click it and drag it to the left. So here we are, we got that pattern at the very beginning. And to fill the pattern, because right now if I press play, you can also press play with spacebar. If you press play, there is nothing, right? So we got to fill that pattern. And to do that, we right click the FL keys, put piano roll, and pick some notes. So I want to have these 3 notes. And whenever I click the piano roll, a note will appear. So I can make however notes I want, how many ever I want, whatever I want them to be. But I want to start very simple. I want to show you some chords. Chords are basically a combination of tones together in one thing, like a wall of sound. And they sound like this. So right now you see I got 4 of these chords, but in the playlist, it only shows 2, right? And it should go to the 5th one here. To get the other ones, we got to extend the pattern. So you just go to the right side of the pattern, hold it, and drag it out. And you can drag it out infinitely. So we could make it 8 bars. So what are these numbers? We got some numbers there. These are like your bars. So how long, for example, if you think about a verse of a rapper usually has 16 bars, which refers to this. So a rapper would usually rap up until here, and then he would go into a chorus, and they just help you structure your beat and get everything done, and measured kind of is like a measurement of time, right? So when we press play, we can hear every bar is like 1 bar long. Every of these notes is 1 bar long. One exact bar. But since this is very boring, sort of, it's a very boring piano, it doesn't really sound like nothing. We want to make it a little more complex. So we're going to shift these notes across the grid. So this is what you call the grid here. And it really helps you orient. It really helps you work. So you see, okay, here's my 2nd bar. As you see, the piano roll corresponds to the playlist. Whenever you hit that 2nd bar here, then the 2nd bar will get filled. If you hit that 3rd bar, the 3rd bar in the playlist will also get filled, right? So let's bring in a little action. Let's try to make this a little faster. I'll try to go for this. What's up, Nuro? Hey, yo, what's good? David Swift. What's popping? What's popping? Today I got a beginner's live stream. I kind of teach how to use FL Studio if you're a complete noob. Sort of. Yeah, I'll try my best to teach. So you got a pattern like this. And what is very interesting, these lower notes here, so this E, is sustained. So it goes all the way, right? It keeps ringing on till the next note hits. But these ones are very short. Right? So they stop immediately. And this is what you call note length. So you can decide how long your notes shall be. For me, I feel like I want to have this C a little longer. Maybe it's too long, then I'll shorten it. And you just go for your feeling, right? Cool, so we got ourselves a little melody, but we only got 2 bars. And I kind of want to go for 4 bars. I want to fill them up. So I'll duplicate this. You can duplicate it by Control, select all. So what is it? Control A, Control C, and Control V to paste it. And then for that second repetition, I'll just move that E down to the C. Let's see how that sounds. Actually, I'll also do this. And I want to bring in even more variation. So I just play around with my melody, right? Okay, I'm happy. I just made myself a nice little pattern. Now I can kind of decide for what genre I want to go with this. I might want to go for an alternative. It could be like an alternative, kind of like a rock song, kind of with an intro like this, like a President song and a metalcore song. But I want to stick to something very simple today. I want to go for a trap. So I'll probably stick to this. So this is your BPM. This says how fast your beat is. The bigger the number, the faster the song. So if you go to 140, then it will be faster than 130. And if you go to 200, it'll be insanely fast, right? Guess what? I created new videos on YouTube. Okay, bro, if you want me to react today, I'll not be reacting. Today, I'm just teaching how to use FL Studio. So this is only me teaching FL Studio. No reactions until we're done with this. Yeah, so keep going. So this is very fast. We gotta find a sweet spot. And I feel like 140 is very good. This is the BPM where most trap songs are made in. Cool. So let's add another instrument. So we got one, right? We got the FL keys. And we might want to add another one. Why not add a second pair of FL keys, for example, for now? And I will go for a Rhodes now. So here in this segment, a lot of these instruments have presets. But today I'll mostly do basics, so I'll not go into in-depth instruments and all that shit. So this will be another video, how to deal with instruments, what all these settings are. I know they look confusing, but trust me, you don't need all these settings to make good music. Really not. You can just work from presets. So I just increased the amount of instruments. I have another pair of instruments. So I need a new pattern. I'll press the plus, and I have a second pattern. And yeah, here we go. And to make things easy for me, I'll just copy these bass notes that I have. The E, the C, and the B. Go to the second pattern. So I'll press that second pattern. Right click that new instrument, the FL keys. Put it in. Here we go. And I'll just decrease the amount of notes that I have and make them sustained. So I'll just drag these out. You can either do this, or you can press Control L. And they will get sustained. What I'm doing right now is layering. So I'm adding one layer to my piano. And to get things done, to make it sound better, I want to move everything down. So I have these keys here, and they are right now here at the E5. But I can bring them down to E4. And the lower the number, so E4 is lower than E5, right? And therefore it will sound lower. I want to bring it down even lower to that E3. And you can see everything that I do correlates to the playlist, just like we said it would. So I don't like that Rhodes sound, so I'll just go back to the classic piano. And the cool thing is I can even go lower. So if I feel, okay, this is not low enough, I can go like this. So to show you what the rack also has, I want to show you these knobs. So you got two knobs. This left one will make your sound go left or right. So if you nudge it to the left side, it will go to the left side. It will be perceived on your left ear. If you nudge it to the right side, it will be perceived on your right ear. And the other knob is the volume, so how loud it is. So the louder it is, the more it will get perceived, obviously. So to make this cool, I want to have, if you think about a piano player, so he has two hands, right? He plays the melody with his right hand, and he plays the chords or the basses with his left hand. And to emulate this feeling, I will move that top melody, this one, I'll move it slightly to the right, and the other one, these chords or these bass notes, I'll move them slightly to the left. So now it kind of sounds more realistic, just because if you play the piano, you might know it, right? So one thing is coming from the left side of the piano, of the big opening of your piano, and the other one is coming from the right side. And now I want to make this one, this lower chords, I want to make them more quiet. So I will reduce the level. To do it, I'll use this. Here we go. We already made some progress. And let's say we want to add a final instrument here. Let's see what else we got. So we go through our controllers. Let's say we go for a synth. And we're gonna use Harmless, probably. So I'll just load it up here. So pick whatever you want in the beginning. Be playful. Play around with these different synths. Find the one that you like the most. Again, we got some presets here. So we will go for, I don't know, what shall we use? Let's see some preset. Leads. Probably a lead, yes. Let's see what we get. Oh, it sounds a little goofy. Try again for a better sound. Nope. No, I don't like that. Let's see what we got. Kind of sounds a little techno-ish. Yeah, let's use that one. So it's not about, today I'm not trying to make like a Grammy-nominated song, right? I just try to teach you how to do it. Good. So we got another instrument, and we want to bring it in after the fourth bar. So we want to play our progression one time, and after the progression is done, we want to introduce another instrument here. Right? So I'm going to press the plus, get a new pattern, bring that in here. And I'll just right click again, go to the piano roll, and I want to introduce a melody. Alright, keeping it super simple, just for the sake of the demonstration. Maybe go up. Okay, so again, we're gonna reduce the level a little bit so it's not that sharp. Yes, sir. What I'm noticing here, or what you also might notice, This thing is very sharp just from the sound, so it's very obnoxious, and we want to fix it. We want to make that sound a little more polished. So we will go to that final segment that I want to show you today. It is the mixer. And I know the mixer might look very intimidating in the beginning, but stick with me. We'll keep this super simple. So you got everything here that you have in the channel rec. You see those numbers, right? So you have the keys is number 1, the other keys is number 2, and then this new lead that we just created is number 3. And everything corresponds to everything here. So FL is very cool because all the things correlate. So that first instrument will go to that first channel. The second one will go to that second channel. And the third one will go to that third channel. And channels are just some things where the sound travels through. So every sound travels through a channel into your master. So you see one of these channels here is called master, and all the other ones are called inserts, right? And the master is the final channel. This is kind of like your output. Everything got to go through the master. And the master is like the final channel that your sound will reach. And there is a step in music that is called mastering. And this is why it's called mastering, because the master kind of is, when you do editing on the master, you do mastering kind of. But today we're not going to make editing on the master. We want to do editing to a specific element, which is this lead that we just created, right? Yes. So like I told you, it is very sharp. So you see the sound travels from the third one into the master. So it reaches the master here after it travels through that third channel. And we want to deal with the sharpness. Every channel has 10 slots, and these 10 slots are for effects. And we want to keep it super simple today. I'll only show you one effect because there are a crazy amount of effects for you to dive into. But probably one of the most well-known is an EQ. You might know an EQ because you have it in your car, on your Spotify app. You basically, a lot of people do EQing themselves for their purpose. They want to have more bass, they want to have more top end. And again, I'll not go into depth. This will be another video. I will just tell you how to deal with that sharp sound. So something is very sharp, and a good indicator what you will learn, sharp things are usually high and bassy things are usually low. So if you look at it, we got a left side, like here, this is the left side, and we got the right side. And the right side is, the more to the right you go, the higher you get, and the more sharp you get. Which means the problem is here on the right side. This one is too sharp. And to fix it, a very simple trick to do it is just take this band here and bring it down like this. And you can move it to the left a little bit, and you will see it is less sharp. Let's maybe make it even less sharp. So this is what it sounded before. And this is what it sounds now. So it's a little less sharp. It doesn't hurt your ears all that much. This is what you call mixing. If you mix a sound, so if you change the character of a sound, you're kind of mixing it. You could also say you're sound designing. Okay, we got our first little melody. Now let's extend our song. I want to show you how to do drums. This will be the last thing for today. So we're going to introduce some more channels. Yeah, I want to have 3 drums. I want to show you 3 drums. The kick drum, the snare, and the hi-hat, which are the most important drums. And I need 3 slots for 3 drums, right? But I only have 1 left. So I got all my keys, I got my lead, but I only have one left, right? To get more channels, I need to right click it and clone it. There's also another way to do it. You can also go to your browser. Again, this is the browser symbol, by the way. If you ever lose your browser, double click this. And then I go for some drums. So I want to type in kick drum. Let's see what I get. I want to go for this pretty hard kick drum. I'll bring that in here. Now I want to type in snare drum, snare. Taking this one. And now you see I only have 5 channels, but I need one more. I'll show you how to get that. And the next thing I'll type in is hi-hat. So if I want to introduce one more channel and I'm running out of space, I'll just hover with my mouse. So I'll drag and drop it here after the final one. So not on the 5th channel, but after the 5th channel here. And then it will appear. And I'll just route it to the 6th channel. So by the way, if you press left click here, you can move that up and down. You just left click, hold, and move your mouse, and then you get that routing. This will take it to the mixer. I know it might be a little complicated in the beginning, but we're close to done, guys. Trust me. So since we got 3 more things, we need 3 more patterns. So we'll do that. So this will be the first pattern for the kick drum. So let's lay down the kick drum. Best thing to do on your drums, usually if you're starting out, is stick to that C5. So C5 for all your sounds in FL Studio, this is like your main pitch. This is where the normal sound will hit in that C5 area. Here you go. I'll just put down a random pattern for my kick drum. I'll just play around with some positioning till I feel it sounds good. Yeah, this is what I like. This is what I decided. Let's say I want to have this pattern change. I want to have the kick drum play something else here. Then I would need to right click this pattern and press make unique. And now this is a different pattern than this. I could do the same thing by pressing plus and kind of putting back those exact notes that I had. But since I want to stick to the same instrument with the same pattern, I just made it unique. And here, I just want to change one note, probably this. Right. And now let's bring in that snare pattern. By the way, this is a basic snare pattern that you see in a lot of rap songs, pop songs, metal songs, whatever genre. Just kind of like your basic snare pattern. Right now I feel my snare is way too quiet, which will make me bring it up a little. So again, I'm using this knob. So I still feel like my snare is a little too quiet. So I want to go to that mixer and mix my snare a little louder. Just a second, I just want to do something right quick. Like make it sound a little louder. All right, here we go. So I still think my snare is too quiet, and the snare is here, number 5, if you remember how we routed it. So you bring it up a little by 3. So these numbers are decibels. This is how you measure the loudness of the sound. Also, don't forget to throw 10 sound quantizers on master. It gives a sparkly, rich, white commercial appeal. Yes, sir. Just what my guy says. I think it's too loud, so I'll just try to find that sweet spot. Here for this segment, I want to get rid of the lead. So I'm right clicking the lead and it disappears. And then here in the second bit, I want to bring it back. If I feel the lead is too loud, I can bring it down in the mixer. Yeah, and the last bit that we're gonna bring in is some hi-hats. I'm gonna show you that basic hi-hat pattern. Basically, the basic hi-hat pattern is this. You just kind of spam them in 8s. And I can duplicate this pattern. It doesn't matter, so either you duplicate the pattern, or what you could also do is just double it up. It comes to the same result. Let's say I want to change the piano because it gets boring over time. I can again right click the piano, make it unique, take everything and kind of make it go lower, for example. So let's see how that goes. So this is our new pattern. Soon as the playhead, by the way, that's the playhead, this green thing, it shows you where you are in the song. So if you put it here, it will play all the way from the start. If you put it here, it will go to that new pattern that we just created. So we kind of made a whole song. The last thing that we're lacking is a bass. So we're going to bring that in, create one last pattern. And usually the bass that you hear in a lot of hip hop songs, it's called 808. So again, we're just going to bring in 808. We're going to type that in. In my case, I'm going for a very specific one. It's called Spins. I could highly recommend you this one. And to make a bass, it is pretty simple because you only need a couple of notes to do it. So I'll probably just go for a C all the way. Actually, I'll have a look at my piano and see my piano plays E, C, and B. I could copy that. If I'm really lazy, I can just copy these bass notes over, put it to that 808. Make sure you stick to that region here. So C5, around the C5 to C6 region, I would try to stick to that with that 808. So this is too much bass for me. So I'll just take some of these notes out, extend it. Yeah, so let's have a listen in solo. If you right click any of these knobs here, any of these lights, it will solo it. So you can listen to that. So this is how our bass sounds in solo. And right now it's pretty wobbly because it goes from one note into the other one. That's what you call bleeding. You don't want to have this bleeding. To disengage it, you just gotta right click it and say cut itself, kind of like an emo. And then it will get cut whenever another note triggers. So it will not bleed into the other note and it will sound more clean. So we got our bass. So we kind of got everything for our song. This was the very first step. I hope you could learn something. Yeah, so I'll try to make more of these, kind of going more in depth and teaching more how to get things to sound proper. By the way, this is just a sketch. Obviously, it is not like a full-blown song. There are levels to it, right? You can still make this way better. You can mix it. You can make it more complicated. Yeah. This is what we got so far. So much for that. That was the first tutorial. I hope you could learn something from it again. Yeah. Have a lot of fun trying these things. Be playful. Test out different instruments. I'll probably make one more of these tutorials very soon. My name is Nuro. Check me out. Yeah, if you got any questions, feel free to say so. Also, I got a Discord. I got a completely free Discord if you want to join and hang out with other people, other producers, other rappers, other musicians. Me, I do mostly hip-hop, so I feel like my main genre is hip-hop and rock. But I mostly stick to hip-hop. It's like where I'm specialized. Yeah, thanks for watching. Goodbye, guys.